guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, I truly have what will be the video of the month. This story, guys, will certainly be popular and certainly probably have future updates. This is all from a guy. He is 58 years old, a father and grandfather, and he's writing in because his daughter's life has completely imploded due to her secret OnlyFans coming to the surface, in which she's been fired from her job as a teacher, in which her husband has kicked her out of her house because she's cheating on him on the secret OnlyFans account, and has been just laying waste to everything in their lives. And he's writing in to share the story, looking for both my help as well as you guys, because it is turned into a complete mess. And I'm doing this one, guys, for lots of reasons, especially just to show you the impact of the Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0 world that we are in right now, that thanks to feminism and all the BS associated with that of empowerment, so-called empowerment and all that, and what we have today, the ripple effect it will have, the negative effect it will have on families and children and all that. Right here, you're going to see this. And let me tell you guys, his daughter here, she is a piece of work. Well, she's a piece of something. I'm trying to watch my language here. This guy needs help. Now, a lot of times in these video guys, I mentioned we're going to have some audience participation. Today, more than ever. So for all you guys watching this that happen to be lawyers, that may have dabbled in family law, or any guys out there that are teachers, educators, parents, fathers, grandfathers, this guy needs your help. So by all means, at the end of this story, type away to give this guy advice on what to do, because he really needs help here, and it is quite the story. And by the way, I was getting ready to film to find good content for today's videos, and for both this channel and my other channel. And right when I logged into my email, this guy's email was right at the top. Okay, and ordinarily I start way back because I'm weeks behind, but this came to the top. I couldn't resist by looking at the title, and this guy, he's obviously looking for help right now, so this is why I'm doing this right now. So he's going to be very surprised to see his video pop up later today. So it starts off, he says, hello SSM. I'd like to submit a request to your weekly Ask SSM segment. I've been a fan of your channel for a while now, and I just want to say that more young men should listen to your advice. Well, brother, thank you. I appreciate your support, and I want you to remember what you just said there, that you want young men should listen to my advice, because at the end of this story, I'm going to be giving some advice, and most certainly, I hope you listen and take it. The world has been crazy these past couple of years, and I appreciate that you're guiding young people in the right direction. So let me cut to the chase. My daughter, a 31-year-old female, had a secret OnlyFans account. Her job and her family life is in jeopardy because of it all, that it came out publicly. I'd like to hear the advice and opinions of you and your viewers. I'm not some snowflake, so if you and your viewers have some harsh words for me or even want to joke about the situation, go ahead. But help a brother out and tell me what you think that I should do in my current situation, because I honestly do not know what to do, and my family and I have been put under so much embarrassment these past couple of days because of it. Also note, English is not my first language. So like I said in the beginning, guys, this guy's life is a mess, so he needs help. And I will be blunt at the end of this story here to help this guy out. So let me start off with how this all happened. Me, I'm a 58-year-old male, and my wife is a 57-year-old female. We have two daughters, Sally, a 29-year-old female, and Amber, a 31-year-old female. Amber is quite an appropriate name for the daughter that we're dealing with. My daughters both have their own families and have respectable jobs. Sally is in the advertisement industry, and Amber is a teacher. However, Amber was, in her words, always a free spirit. Ding, ding, ding. And sometimes we would clash about things like politics or worldviews, since she has a very extreme opinion on those things. And she's a teacher. Obviously, she's on the far left because you just said extreme. And she's a teacher shaping young minds. That's a scary thought, amongst many other things that are going to come out here. Me, my wife, and Sally never really liked the way she lived, but anytime we'd bring it up, she would always say, it's my life, and I won't let anyone tell me how to live it. Well, given how this story goes, I think most certainly people should have been telling her how to live her life, because she is a complete train wreck. And this train wreck is impacting all you. We thought that marriage and having kids would change her for the better, but it didn't. And after about 3 years into her first marriage, she cheated on her first husband. Shocker. They divorced, and then she started dating again. She got pregnant by a foreigner and became a single MOM for a while. Shocker. Remember the whole, I can live my life the way I want to and you can't tell me, or something like that? Now I want to say this real quick, and I know you guys are dying to hear more, but I hate when I interrupt, but I got to say this. A child is a reflection on their parents, on their family. But there's a point when that child becomes an adult and their actions are on them. So I don't know how this guy raised his daughter Amber here. It sounds like the other daughter is normal. But there's only so much a parent can do. But a parent can always look back and say I was too harsh, or I was too easy, too lenient. But if there's ever a time that a parent needs down, this guy could be laying down the law, it is now, and I'll get to that at the end. Then she married a nice man named Dean, a 33-year-old male. He was a bit soft in my opinion, but he loved Amber despite being a single MOM. They got married after 1 month of dating. Smack. 1 month. 1 month? I tell you guys, 5 years. Minimum, in my opinion. If you're going to do it, to really get to know her. Do you think this guy got to know everything he needed to know about her to marry her in 1 month's time? But what do we have here, guys? She's a single MOM and a free spirit and thinks she knows everything. And, well, when you're a single MOM, you need help, support. So she found herself that nice guy. Because only nice guys get married after 1 month. Like I tell you all the time, they're ready for that nice guy. They need their support. They need that guy they know is never going to go anywhere. And they go out and they can scan the room, and that nice guy targeting system is in operation. She can find that nice guy, sets her sight on the nice guy, puts on all the charm, tells him everything he wants to hear, and that nice guy who's clueless, of course he'll get in a relationship with her. Of course he'll be the stepdad. Of course he'll rush into marriage. And watch what happens. He says, we were elated because Amber seemed to have changed when she and Dean got married. He was also very kind to the children and even adopted them a year after becoming their stepfather. Good Lord. I believe, sir, that your son-in-law is a good man. I really do. But clueless. And God Almighty could have used my channel back in the day. Or guys like me. No good deed goes unpunished, gentlemen, as you're about to see. And everything went well for the last 4 years of their marriage until last week. Sally, the other daughter, called me in the middle of the night saying that Amber had effed up. I asked how, and she told me that her OnlyFans account was leaked and spread among the students and her faculty. Imagine that. I'd like to know what grade she's teaching. Is it a bunch of 8-year-olds in the 3rd grade, or is it a bunch of 16-year-olds in the 10th and 11th grade? What a disgrace. It says here, I asked how, and she told me that her OnlyFans account was leaked and spread among the students' faculty. I had no idea what an OnlyFans was back then, but when I searched what it was, I felt my gut sink. My wife did not take it well, and she started crying at the news. What's worse is that in some videos and pictures within her OnlyFans, she was with another man who is clearly not Dean. So this free spirit, Miss Know-It-All, who never wants to listen to anybody else and is my life, don't tell me how to live it, has once again ruined another family. Cheat on her husband the first time, once a cheater, always a cheater, marries a nice guy, and now she has a secret OnlyFans account. She's a mother to small children. She is an absolute disgrace. Any woman that does that, in my opinion, especially if they're a mother with young children, is a piece of garbage. And it's not like she didn't have a job and literally was in dire straits, and if she didn't come up with money somehow, she was going to be on the streets with the kids. Then in that situation, perhaps as a desperation, there are no other options, that's one thing. But she had a career as a teacher. By the way, guys, we're having a monsoon here, and I've been trying to wait to film the video, but now I'm recording and it's raining again, so bear with me with the noise. I'll talk loud. She is doing this now. I mean, it's an absolute disgrace. She's a teacher. She has a career, and I'm sure Dean makes money. But what's it always about? Attention. Absolutely about attention, I guarantee. And when you're on the far left, empowerment, because you can't be empowered unless you're doing something like this. And now she's ruining the lives of everyone. All right, guys, I'm going to take a break here because this rain's getting crazy, and I'll come back in a second. Okay, seems like our New England monsoon has passed, and the show must go on. So thanks for bearing with me. He continues. He says, Amber was then kicked out of her house and had to stay with Sally for a while. It was a complete mess. We had a chance to talk to Amber, but she's delusional right now, and instead of asking for forgiveness from Dean, she's asked us to convince him that what she did was not cheating or morally wrong, as she viewed her content on OnlyFans as a job, and the man in her pictures and videos was nothing more than a co-worker. Yeah, delusional, definitely, that's putting it mildly. Try, she's a complete and total narcissist. Look at the ripple effect, the damage, what she's done here is causing on the family, and more importantly, her kids. And she wants him to come back. You got to be out of your freaking mind. I mean, nothing's surprising me at this point, but good Lord. I know you don't want to hear this, sir, but I'm sure deep down you know it. She is an unfit mother. She is unfit to be a teacher. This is terrible. Look at the damage she caused. Miss, I know everything and don't tell me how to live. Leftist teacher. It was really hard to hear all these things, and in my 58 years on this earth, I've never once broken down over a situation, but I'm at my breaking point. Shortly after the mess started, some of our neighbors and friends found out, and we've been getting weird looks and stares every time we go out. How many times have I said in videos, guys, about these OnlyFans business or what these girls do online? It will come back to haunt them, or worse yet, their families. And nobody ever thinks about any repercussions or problems or who it's going to impact. That's what narcissists do. They think everybody else is the problem but them, and they don't care who it hurts. This guy's poor kids. He says, Amber's children are just as mortified as us. My youngest granddaughter called me the other day and started crying as she and her siblings were getting bullied at school, and their stepfather, Dean, will not be talking to them soon. She is afraid that she will lose the only father she's ever known and be known as the girl with an OnlyFans mother. It breaks my heart on how bad my granddaughter is suffering. Man, it breaks my heart too. This is terrible. Now the kids are suffering. The kids can't go to school being made fun of. The kids certainly can't focus on their studies because of all that. You know, look what she's done. I mean, it's a perfect example. I wish there was something I could do, but I'm at a loss of what to say. My grandchildren are currently staying with Dean, and thankfully he is not abandoning them for now. I asked Amber multiple times to check up on her kids, but she refused to do so until Dean apologizes to her for kicking her out of her house. He's supposed to apologize to her. He finds out that his wife is secretly with an OnlyFans account, hooking up with some other dude this whole time. Now has caused a ripple effect on embarrassing the kids, the family, gets fired from her job, all this stuff. And he's supposed to apologize to her for kicking her out. Your son-in-law did the right thing by kicking her out. Absolutely the right thing. Total narcissist. I'm trying to persuade her that the children are innocent in all this and should not be punished. But she's trying to make out Dean to be the devil for kicking her out. Of course she is. Miss, I know everything, don't tell me how to live. Just yesterday, Dean told us that he'll be speaking to us about this situation. I do not know what he will tell us, but I assume that he'll get some lawyers and is going to divorce Amber. Your son-in-law, Dean, has every right to divorce Amber. If Dean was writing me, I would tell him to divorce your daughter in a heartbeat and go scorched earth. That's what I would tell him. Amber is confident that Dean will not leave her, but from what I gathered from my grandchildren, it is possible he's making an exit plan. Your daughter doesn't think that he'll leave her because your daughter's perception of him is he's a Mr. Nice Guy. After all, he married her after 1 month. She deliberately found her nice guy because she knew he'd settle. She'd settle for the nice guy because he'd be easy. So she doesn't think he has the balls to leave her. That's what's going on here. That's why she's holding out for him to apologize to her so she can maintain control in the relationship. You said yourself he was a soft guy. Well, obviously not as soft as you think. It goes on here. He says, I know in America they call it an at-fault divorce, but from where I am from, that is the norm. Ever since this OnlyFans incident, Amber has been indefinitely suspended from her job, and I fear that once Dean leaves, Amber will not be able to support her children. Even if she could support her children with OnlyFans income, I doubt that it would be a sustainable source of income for their family. Me and my wife worked as financial advisors and accountants in banks before, so our concerns are justifiable. You have very justifiable concerns, but here's one concern. How about your kids? How about your grandkids being raised by her? She is an unfit mother. I'm pretty sure everybody here can agree with that. She should not be raising those kids because she doesn't give a shit about those kids. She gives a shit about her. Guarantee the OnlyFans thing wasn't probably about the money. It was about the attention and validation she can get from dudes. Because she is 31. And when women turn 30, they freak out because they know that's the age they start losing their appeal. My wife and me had a talk shortly after Dean told us about his intention to talk to us. She wants us to try to convince Dean to stay with Amber and to think of the children. How it was just a mistake on Amber's part. Maybe the acorn doesn't fall far from the tree here. I don't mean to insult your wife, sir, but you gotta be out of your damn mind if you're gonna try to convince Dean, a good man, to stay with her and do it for the kids and have him suffer. She'll just do it again and again. Your daughter doesn't deserve any leniency. Your daughter doesn't deserve a break. She deserves to be held accountable for her actions. Your son-in-law has every right to kick her out of the house and divorce her and go scorched earth. He's every right. And by the way, I'm not an attorney. I'm not exactly familiar with family law, but I'm pretty sure that because he adopted those kids, he would have the ability to get custody of those children if he wanted to. And quite frankly, if he wanted that, he should, because she shouldn't be raising them. And I'm going to come back to that later. However, I do not want to ask Dean to stay with my daughter, as if I were in a position, I would leave immediately as well. Good for you, sir. Me and my wife are at odds here, and for the first time in a long time, we had a fight that ended with my wife staying at Sally's house. I feel terrible for what has transpired, and I'm currently lost on the matter. I've been on God's great earth over half a decade, but I'm completely clueless on how to handle this situation. I'm coming to you as a humble man and asking for you and your viewers' opinion on this matter. What should I do about Amber? She's not listening to reason. What about my grandchildren, who are afraid of losing their father? What should I say to Dean? Should I ask him to stay with Amber, even though I know it's wrong? I know that Amber is a grown woman and she must live with the consequences of her actions, but she's unwilling to do so, and it's causing not only her life, but the lives of those around her to implode, and I want to avoid that. Thank you, SSM. I wish you good health. Okay, guys, here we go. So, let's go back to the beginning of the story when he said pretty much something like about my advice and all young guys should listen to my advice. So, here we go. Sir, I know you're going through hell. I know it's an absolute mess, but I'm going to be blunt. Your daughter, from everything you have told me here, is a complete and total asshole. Complete and total. Not to mention a complete and total narcissist with all the qualities that narcissists have. A liar, a manipulator, a cheater, a gaslighter. I can go on and on. And she doesn't care what she does, the impact it has on everybody else. You and your wife, your daughter, your poor grandchildren, her poor husband, and won't even admit she's done anything wrong. Okay? Who would want to be around someone like that? And now you have to clean up the mess, if you will. And as you said, back when she was younger, she doesn't want to hear how to live her life. She's a free spirit. Your daughter, in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure the audience here will agree with me, is in no way, shape, or form fit to be a mother. She should get the Unfit Mother of the Year freaking award if there was one right now. Certainly of the month. Those kids should not be with her. Think about it. How are those kids going to be raised? How are those kids going to be as adults? Right? With this example, your son-in-law adopted them. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know family law, but I'm pretty sure by adopting them, he now has rights. And if he wanted those kids to live with him, and those kids wanted to live with him, he could have them. I don't know if that's going to be the talk you're going to have, but if he wants that, I would seriously consider that. I'll come back to that in a second. Number 2, your daughter is completely unfit to be a teacher. Disgrace. She's influencing young minds. I would certainly not agree with her politics, what you hinted at what she's like, but she does this behind the scenes. If I was a parent and I found out that my kid's teacher or a teacher in that school was doing this type of thing, I would do everything in my power. I would use all my wealth, all my influence, all my rage to make sure that teacher was fired and would never teach again, ever again. Your daughter should never be teaching again after this. It's a disgrace. Somebody has to start laying down the law and putting these types of people in their place for their behavior in the society. It has gone way out of control. Okay? Number 2. You need to completely support your son-in-law. You said before you and your wife are at odds over this, that you understand, and if you were in the same situation, you would leave. Okay, 100% support your son-in-law. So if your son-in-law wants to divorce your daughter, 100%, even though that obviously you can see the impact on the grandkids and all that, you need to support him. This is another man out there that's been royally screwed by one of these a-hole women, and yes, your daughter is an a-hole woman, and I respect you, sir, but I'm being honest here. She's just like the women in these stories I do. If your son-in-law wrote me a story, wrote me right now, telling me the situation from his point of view, and asked what I thought he should do, I would tell him this: divorce her, wreak havoc, and I'd tell him to be good to the kids. And if he wanted to adopt them, okay, great, or have them live with him because he adopted them, great. But cut all ties with her. Support your son-in-law 100%. And if your son-in-law wants to have the kids live with him, they should be with him. If he is the good man that you say he is, absolutely. But to turn on him. If you go with what your wife wants or what your daughter wants, and even though know what your daughter's really like, and try to get your son-in-law to go back to her and use the excuse for the grandkids, then you shouldn't be watching this channel. And I think you know that. So absolutely support what your son-in-law wants, because he deserves it. He's been good to your daughter. He's been good to your grandkids. He needs your support. Another one, the kids. I feel so bad for your kids because they're good kids. They don't deserve this. Look at them suffering in school. Being bullied, made fun of this because of their mother's actions, because their mother wants attention on the internet, and be like those other women that do this crap. It's such a shame being bullied like that. They can't focus on school. They can't focus on their studies. Look at this, how this is going to have an impact on their self-esteem. Things that happen to kids at a young age will have a ripple effect to set the trajectory for their lives. It's terrible. Those kids should not be around her, living with her, having them guide them in life. It's terrible. Back to the kids now. So if your son-in-law wants to raise those kids, and I'm pretty darn sure because he's adopted them, he has a legal right to have custody of them, I would support him because your daughter shouldn't. Or if he doesn't do that, perhaps you and your wife, the grandparents, at least for a while, because they should not be with their mother at all right now. But be strong for your grandkids, but good Lord. Another one, your wife. She's pissed at you now because you don't agree with her to the whole convince your son-in-law to go back. Absolutely do not cave. Stick to your guns. You know it's right that he divorces your daughter. You know it's right. Whatever decision he makes. If your son-in-law decides, not only am I divorcing her, but that's it, I don't have anything to do with his family anymore, you gotta support him and respect that. Your wife may not like that, but you need to be a man and stand up to her. And if she's mad at you and she's not talking to you and she's left the house and she's living with your other daughter, Sally, and pretty much, I'm not coming home until you agree with me, fine, don't come home. Because if you cave on this, aside from many other reasons you're causing problems, she's not going to respect you. Women respect strength. They don't respect weakness. So if you cave, she's going to lose all respect for you. You tell her how it is. You tell your daughter effed up royally, and this is what your daughter deserves. And last but not least, sir, your daughter. If it were me, now I'm not a parent, but I know myself very well, at this point, after all this shit, if it was me, I would disown her. Because believe me, I would have raised my daughter not to be this type of person. Pure garbage. I would disown her. Have nothing to do with her. Look at the damage she's caused everybody, and she's not remorseful at all about it. Not remorseful towards her own kids, towards you, to the guy she married. Remember, she ruined the first marriage because she's a cheater. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Got married again, ruined the second marriage. Cheater. What makes you think she's not going to do this again and again and again? She's proven to be a narcissist. Doesn't care what anybody thinks. But sadly, this is an example of the times. I'd cut her off completely. But I know that's not what you're going to do. So I very least put her in her place. And you know what I mean by that. And I'm sure, given that she's obviously a know-it-all personality and will probably hoot and holler and stomp her feet and try to twist things around, make it everybody's fault but her own, then you better do your best speech ever. Put her in her damn place. And frankly, either your son-in-law or soon-to-be ex-son-in-law gets custody of those kids, or maybe you and your wife, because she shouldn't be raising them. And especially if you said she's suspended from her job. Well, I'm sure that suspension is going to be permanent pretty soon. And if doing OnlyFans is her way of as an income, that is not a way for kids to grow up being raised by a mother that does that. There'll be some people out there that have a hard time with that. Not people in this community, but people that may stumble upon this video. Tough shit. I stand by what I believe. It's trash, okay? Those kids should not be raised by her. So, you're going to have to decide how to handle this. And I know it's a tough situation, but you're the father, and your job is to be strong. When everybody else is having a meltdown, your wife's having a meltdown, your other daughter's having a meltdown, everything is having a meltdown, your grandkids are having a meltdown, you, sir, need to be strong. You need to pull reserves of strength that you never thought you had for your family. Do it for your grandkids. Because if you don't, all hell's breaking loose. You need to be the masculine man that I know you are and make it happen and take care of your family. And your daughter needs to be put in her goddamn place. I disown her. I have nothing to do with her. I think she's fucking garbage. You wanted me to express my opinion. You said you're not a snowflake, so I'm being blunt with you, sir. Cut her off completely, or at the very least, for a short period of time, and put her in her place. But support that son-in-law of yours. Be there for your grandkids. Be strong. Put your wife in her place about you're sticking to your guns, and you're not going to support this whole trying to get the guy to go back to your daughter thing. And you put your daughter in your place. And I really wish the best for you, sir. But God, this is an example of the damage that this mindset, this attitude, this whole empowerment thing through flaunting oneself online, the damage has caused. The Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0 world on families, innocent people. I really hope, sir, you can get it together and everything will be okay. So please, do let me know down the road how things are going. So guys, they're watching this, because I know a lot of you guys are watching this, because I know this video is going to do well. Comment away. Now's the time. Let this guy know what you think. For all the fathers and grandfathers out there who've gone through hard times and things like that, type away. Give this guy words of support. For any lawyers out there, particularly ones that practice family law, let him know what his options may be, whether him taking custody of the kids or the son-in-law because he adopted the kids, if he gets them. And anybody else that are teachers, anybody else that can give some support to this guy, some advice, please type away. He needs it. We got a brother in need here, and he needs help. I wish you the best, sir, and please do keep in touch as to what's going on. You will be okay, but you gotta be strong. And do not take your daughter's crap any further. Alright guys, that is it for today. Like I said, comment down below. And guys, if you got a really great story you'd like to share, by all means email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com, and I'll definitely cover it down the road when I get a chance. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.